So how you been?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, so you stay here tomorrow, or you still stay there?
Well, I've actually already been staying at the new place.
Wow.
Uh,
Comfortable?
Yeah, I need more furniture. I'm getting a mattress in the mail tomorrow.
Okay.
But for the last
You should have
several
taken
days,
two of those rather than just one.
yeah, I borrowed a sleeping mat from Nanda, and the sleeping mat is like this thick.
And
So I feel
we have
like-
plenty up there. We
Yeah.
can share with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's I've basically been sleeping on the floor except for this thing.
Oh, really? No, it's cold.
Well, the house is very warm because it's
Oh.
well insulated and brick, but yeah,
Okay.
they say sleeping on the floor is actually good for your back. So
But
maybe-
still, you need to stay away from the floor.
yeah. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's been good. I got some dishes. I have some more stuff coming in the mail.
You know, just as far as like, if you need cheap stuff, you can actually buy dishes at the dollar.
Oh, well, I bought a bunch of dishes at Goodwill,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
I hit 3 different ones, and, got some plates and bowls and silverware
Hmm.
and,
Okay. And so it's great that you have the place to stay
yeah,
now.
it's great, it's very good. I'm looking forward to when, Gal come and visit.
Okay, let's.
Right? You say that the blessed one did not accept alms received by chanting person. But when preaching to laymen, he generally spoke first of the benefits of giving and accepted the gifts offered. If the first is true, then why did he accept gifts gained by preaching?
You can be.
It is the custom of the Tathagatas to preach first of the benefits of giving, to soften men's hearts before going on to preach of morality and higher matters, but not on account of that, could they justly be accused of hinting to get gifts. There is hinting that is improper, and there is hinting that is blameless. Herein, if a bhikkhu begs for alms standing in an inconvenient place or making signs, this is improper hinting. But if he stands in the proper place where there are people who want to give and moves on if they do not want to give, then this is proper and does not amount to hinting. That meal of the plowman was offered in order to refute the subject of first cited. Therefore, the Tathagata rejected.
Understand?
Well, yeah, I know they do have rules about like it's okay to preach why Dana is important, but it's not okay to go. So I know there are pretty specific rules about alms. And so the plowman I don't know, I don't quite understand what it means to refute the subject, like why you would give him something. I guess to try to throw the Buddha off, is that why he did that?
Probably the Buddha say something,
Uh-huh.
and the layman provide offer the food to convince him
It's
that's
not
not
true.
true.
Okay.
That's what he reject.
Okay, yeah, I don't really know that story, or so I kind of know. That makes
You follow us, I don't know. Kind of.
50-50.
The Tathagata means Buddha. In Buddhist tradition, it's like all the tradition, right? The priest, the monk, the pastor, they preach, they give lecture to let people provide the financial support. That's what it's about. So in Buddhist tradition, in the old age, during Buddha times, so the monks supposed to walk house by house, beg for food. That's their living. So whoever can get them anything, they accept them. They could not give the hint. Oh, I like that food. I don't like that food.
Yeah,
I just accept as the way they are. Accept whichever thing that people give to them.
right.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's why in their tradition, they don't eat meat, but another tradition that I help a lot with. Like I took him the month to the Thanksgiving dinner, and since he was offered the turkey, he can eat it.
Because we have a choice. You can cook at the temple, the nun, for the temple, we have a choice. So big better choice, not to harm ancient beings. For them,
They have, they live on.
but they
what's
still
offered.
cook at the temple, right?
Minimally,
But
yeah.
they can still can.
they can a little bit,
Most of the lay people come and.
yeah, they don't.
But that's they have a choice, right? If they have a choice,
Yeah, some choice,
if they have a choice, yeah, it's better to have a better choice.
right,
I know that they've recently approved, the FDA approved lab-grown meat.
Yeah,
that's
plenty,
amazing.
plenty.
Yeah, they just did it, and I guess, I don't know, I know it's a different matter, but I know meat's just not good for you.
That's man. This is it's better. It's better to stay away because all have a chemical involved. Yeah. But this is
but
okay.
like for people that insist on eating meat and don't want to eat plant-based, that the lab alternative could really solve a lot of ecological problems, provided it is like just healthy, replicated, protein.
Mm.
That, that could really relieve the world of a lot of environmental pressure.
So in Buddhist tradition, you see that at the temple we have the donation box. We don't pass around the basket. Whoever want to put donation, put there. So we don't force them. We don't have the hints or force us. When you pass to that basket, somehow it's in that you need to put something there. Because whoever wants to put something to put there. That's involuntary work. It's much it reduces a lot of pressure on people if they really want to donate. Step up and put there, otherwise they don't need it. Okay, so that's why this is so important that we need to help each other in meaningful way, not using the power or give some kind of pressure or hint. Okay.
The reluctance of, you say that for 4 eons and 100,000 world cycles, Buddha practiced the perfection in order to gain omniscience. Yet after he had gained omniscience, his mind inclined to not teaching the Dharma. Like an archer who had practiced for many days might hesitate when the day of battle had come. Even so, did the Blessed One hesitate to teach the Dharma. Was it then because of fear, or lack of clarity, or weakness? Because he was not omniscient that he hesitated? No, great king, it was for none of those reasons. It was due to the profound nature of the Dharma and to the exceedingly strong passion and delusion of the beings that the Blessed One hesitated and considered to whom he should teach it, and in what manners, so that they could understand. Just, O king, as a king, when he calls to mind the many people who gain the livelihood and dependence on him, the bodyguards, the courtiers, the merchants, soldiers, messengers, ministers, and nobles, he might be exercised at the thought, how can I consolidate, conciliate them all. Just so okay, when the Tathagata called to mind the strong passion and delusion of being, that he inclined rather to inaction than preaching. It is also in the nature of the order of things that the Buddha should teach the Dharma at the request of the Brahma. For at the time, all men were worshippers of Brahma and placed their reliance on him. Therefore, if one so high and mighty as Brahma should incline to hearing Dharma, then the whole world of gods and men will become inclined to it. And so for the reason, so the Buddha waited to be asked before preaching Dharma.
You understand?
Yeah, it's interesting. He hesitated to teach him
Why?
because of what man was at the time and what they believed in.
Mhm. You follow? Mm.
And he would just wanted to make sure that what he had was right for everyone. And then
Mhm.
that he
And on the top of that, Brahma, you know what's in Brahma?
The Brahmin or the.
Brahma, not Brahman, Brahma.
The Brahma,
Mhm.
oh no,
You know, the greater in Hindu tradition.
like the God, yeah,
Mhm. So he came down to the first Buddha teaching.
yeah.
So like here he say that, well, because most people in India, they worship Brahma. So they will wait for him to come down to the class, the teaching, so that all the people say, oh, okay, our leader follow the Buddha, our leader request Buddha teaching, that's why we can, that's one of the way. And most of the time, the Buddha wait for people to request at least 3 times before he get the teaching. And sometimes he spoke something occasionally, depend upon the situation. If it's so special, he will speak. He will speak without any request. But most of the time, he wait for people to make request for at least 3 times. Sam, you know why? You know why?
Well, I know that three is important because of like, the 3 gems in the 3 worlds and things like that, but I don't know why it would like people 3 times.
would it be they're more open to hearing the teachings and they can receive it better if they requested it? Whereas if you just teach somebody that doesn't ask for it, they cannot maybe take it in.
Like
I got it, unsolicited advice.
That's right.
It's unsolicited advice is aggressive, so I know I need to take my own.
mhm. It's like if we're hungry, right?
Yeah.
To ask for the food. Yeah, if people give us the food, we be appreciated, right? If we're hungry with the teaching for 3 times, but I say, okay, if you're hungry, for this teaching, I'm willing to teach. If you're open-minded, if you listen carefully and attentively, that's right. That's most of the time. But sometimes it gets taught based on the special occasion. So again, this is skill of teaching too, a skill of communication, right? Sometimes when we talk with other people, if they don't want to hear, it's better to walk away. If we just stand there and talk, waste of time, right? No matter what, conversation, communication with other people, that's a skill. That's a skill for me. That we need to recognize whether people want to listen. Sometimes if we don't pay attention, we just stand there and talk. They don't pay attention. They walk away. Waste about time. That's a meaning to it. No, you understand that? Yeah. Okay. So he's so skillful in this way. Yeah, please. Sorry, Hannah, are you still there? Can you hear us, Hannah?
The blessed one said, I have no teacher, one like me, from this, in the world with level as himself and honor you as the highest honor. This too is a double-edged sword. Okay, when the Blessed One spoke of all of that, the Kalama, as a teacher, he referred to the time when he was still a Bodhisattva, and before he attained Buddhahood. He was merely a teacher of worldly wisdom. It was in regard to transcendental matters, such as knowledge of the Four Noble Truths and Nirvana, that he said, I have no teacher, one like me does not exist, and the world is God's known to me.
You understand that?
So the king is asking if Buddha didn't have a teacher and no one told him, what did he talk about in the past? He had this Kalama who was a teacher, and you know, the monk replied to the king that Buddha you know, learned from that teacher before he was the Buddha, and he didn't learn about the things that, you know, that the Buddha learned about, or basic things. So, I mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So when he first left his palace, right, he went to forest and learned with these two teachers. He could not satisfy with their teaching, so that's why he took off and went on his way, so that he could find his own way, own path, and eventually he come to that. He taught the Noble Truth, Nirvana, and so forth. That other teacher did not teach. That's why. On one hand, yes, he has a teacher. On the other hand, one hand is just the kind of mundane teacher. Right? On the other hand, is no one surprised his wisdom.
Four Noble Truths.
Yeah, you know this. You know. Yeah, you remember Four Noble Truths?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the first is dukkha. I'm gonna hold it with the truth of suffering, right? And so, suffering is caused by, you know, the word samoda? Oh no, I'm trying to think of the word of it. I'm not gonna remember that. I do know the poly word, but I haven't.
Greed. Yeah, greed.
Okay, and so it's caused from clinging and attachment. The path to liberation. There is an end to suffering, and there is an end to suffering, which is the third, and then the fourth one is it's contained in the Eightfold Path.
It's Four Noble Truths. That's the basic teaching there. The person is suffering.
But
Yeah, physical suffering, mental suffering. Physical suffering has been we getting older. We have some kind of illness, and one day we have to go. No exception.
Right.
Yeah, that's a physical suffering. And mental suffering have all kind of stress, anxiety, depression. And that's what happened to people in the past, the present, future.
But I also like to mention to people, or particularly Westerners, that dukkha, even though it translates sort of to suffering, it doesn't really even necessarily mean in the grand sense of suffering. It's more, it can even mean very subtle states, like just an undercurrent, of unsatisfactory. But there's always something maybe a little bit better. So it's a lot of people be like, oh, well, I'm not suffering. And it's like, well, I'm sure there's a part of you that's imagining a better state or remembering a better time. So I like to make that distinction, especially about the first noble truth that it's taught.
Yeah. It's not always like suffering, like you're like crying suffering. Sometimes it's like a little bit not happy right now.
It doesn't, like, this isn't great.
Yeah, most time mental suffering comes from the desire, the craving, expectation.
Right.
You may expect him to do something. He may fail your expectation.
Right.
You may frustrate. That's what this is about, the craving there. Yeah, so that's cause have a lot of anxiety, stress, depression, so forth. And
Yeah. Oh, no, I see the words up there, dukkha, samadhi, nirodha, and saladha.
Yeah,
mhm, yeah, and in Buddhist view, there's two sides of the coin: suffering and happiness. So when we talk about suffering, there's happiness there if you know how to live. And the last one is the way how to achieve that happiness, to transform the suffering. That's what the Eightfold Path. Yeah. Okay. Hannah, are you still here? Mm. Okay, so let's see here. Probably.
consulting with the two Buddhas cannot exist together. The Blessed One said, it is impossible that in one world two perfectly enlightened could exist at the same time. Yet, Augustine said, if all the Tathagata teach the same teaching, why shouldn't they exist together? If there were two, they can teach at ease, and the world would be even more illuminated.
Yeah.
Okay, if two Buddhas were to exist simultaneously, this great world could not bear the weight of their combined God goodness. It would tremble and shake and break up. Suppose, O king, a man had eaten as much food as he wanted, so that he had no room for any more. Then, if he were to eat the same amount of food again, would he be at peace? Certainly not, my noble sir. If he were to eat again, he would die.
So you understand the idea now? Hmm.
Yeah, too much of a good thing about them.
Mhm.
You can show people, but if you
It's not necessary, right?
got too much water. This is something I'm sometimes confused by whenever I think about it, because I thought about this before though. Like we talked about, you know, there was like Lord Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, and he was the Buddha of our world and our age. But when he was alive, you know, there were the Arhat, the people who became enlightened while he was alive. And there's other Buddhas also, like people who attained Buddhahood besides Gautama Siddhartha in our world. And I'm confused, like sometimes when I read like the original scriptures and like the original languages, they talk about him as the Sam Buddha. It seems like every Buddha or all Buddha or something. And I'm like, what makes like Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, what made him different from like the other people who became Buddhas in this time, like Saraswata, Moggallana, his son Radula and stuff, like those people also became Buddhas.
No,
they
they
didn't.
are.
No? Like how is really an Arhat different from a Buddha though? I don't really understand completely.
You don't understand? You understand the difference?
I mean,
That's a big question.
I think they don't come. I don't think they come. Do they not have all? They have all the psychic powers, so I don't know that it must be some sort of subtle difference. I'm not sure.
Yeah, in the Theravada tradition is somehow they attain to that type of state of mind in a similar way to Buddha, but they difference. Person is they learn from the Buddha, the disciple. They follow the Buddha. Buddha found the way. They could not find the way by themselves. That's the first thing.
So it's the fact that he came to Buddhahood on his own that makes him a
The
different
Buddha
kind of
plus, and in this lifetime, before this Oka Buddha too. That's why we could learn that is to know two Buddha at the same time.
So that's the reason why the next time, like we've had other people who attain Buddhahood since the Buddha, but it's not until the Dharma is like forgotten. That will have
No,
another Buddha
no.
that
That's
might
it
try
doesn't. No, it doesn't make that. It doesn't work that way. Yes, people still working on the Buddha path. It's limitless. People can attain the Buddhahood anytime. It doesn't mean that they have to wait. But obviously, only on this, we can say on this earth, this realm, yes, we have this type of number of Buddha appearance. So the next one would be Maitreya. Yeah, historically,
It'll be for a different age. though.
yeah, but for all the children, they can have the ability to attain Buddha any times, but they may appear in different world system. Them here.
It'll be a robot.
Yeah, so there's no order, there's no numbers, there's no limit number.
Why
Oh.
not? In all the other worlds, and all these other worlds and other ages and time periods also have their own Buddha.
Mhm. And plus, whoever attend the Buddhahood, they free to choose to stay here, to free to go different realm or system. So you follow our conversation. So that's why there's no fixed number. And that's why it's pretty rare to have a one that attend Buddhahood to become Buddha. It's pretty rare. It's not easy. You have to accumulate enough blessing, merit, and wisdom. Because the wisdom of the Buddha, it has 53 levels of Bodhisattva. The highest one, like like the Bodhisattva, he has not become Buddha yet. That's the highest level of Bodhisattva. Another level is Buddha. So this you have to go through these 53 levels in Mahayana tradition. It takes a lot of times. It takes a lot of efforts. Yeah. So, but for art, yeah, they could go through all stages. It takes a lot of time too, but most of the time they do this way. For art, in here in the Mahayana Buddhist field, for art, they can attain enlightenment. They can attain art shift for themselves. They can transform their mental fluctuation and affliction by themselves. That's all. They don't have much inclination to teach others. That big difference. Even they attend to arhatship, right? It's like in the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha said that, wow, you attend to that arhatship, it's not enough. You have to move on to become Buddha in the future. But for them, for most of Buddha disciples doing Buddha time, that's not for them. That's a bit different.
I have a related question that is also makes me think of. Amitabha Buddha, is he like a Buddha for more than one world? He's a Buddha for like all the worlds, right?
One world system in the West, what they call Western paradise or Western
So like a
Pure Land.
world system, like a system with different worlds in the world system,
Mhm.
and we're in that world system, but other worlds are too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. So it's in the West, according to Buddha teaching, he's the West. And the West here doesn't mean that he dominates the West. His Pure Land is one of the Pure Land, one of the Buddha Pure Land in the West. It doesn't mean that he dominates all the West. No. You understand that? So there's many different Buddhas in the West too, but specifically for the Pure Land tradition, because we have condition with him. That's why we know of him. Yeah, he raised that type of Pure Land. In the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, Islam Christian tradition, so a Buddha named Amitabha Buddha. So he raised what we call Buddhist paradise, Pure Land. Whoever decide his name sincerely, make the vow to go there after they pass away, they would be rescued by that Buddha. They would be brought by that Buddha to that Pure Land instantly.
So they're going to other dimensions. Once they get to that 52, they're transcending to other.
They don't need to
dimensions.
go through this 53 levels. If they have sincerity, they can desire Amitabha Buddha names. So with that type of recitation, this kind of sincerity, they would derive from the Buddha power to go there instantly. It's like there's no way for it to swim. across the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean, but we can fly. We can sail by boat, by ship. So the Buddha is like the airplane or the spaceship that can bring us to the other shore. And that's the whole meaning. That is similar to Christianity, but it's a bit different. When someone go there, for sure they would attain Buddhahood. They would become Buddha over there. And after that, they would follow their vows to walk around, to go everywhere that they want to, anywhere they want to teach ancient views. That's why every people here, right? Every Sunday, most of them they recite the more Amitabha Buddha names. That's what they inspire. So make sense? So go back to your question, you understand now? So Shariputra, Moggallana, all the Buddha disciple, their ultimate goal is to become arhat, to help themselves to get out of the birth cycle. That's all. But for Buddha, no. He attained the arhatship. He transformed all his desire, craving, attachment, anger, and so forth. But he stayed back to have sentient beings, and he has gone through this 53 levels of Bodhisattva, and that's why he's a top Buddha now. That's the difference. That's why he accumulated enough merit, blessing, and wisdom to teach every sentient beings. But for them, they just have themselves. That's all. A bit different. That bit different between Mahayana and Abhidhamma. And even Ajahn Chah, right? Ajahn Chah, the forest monk.
Oh, Ajahn Chah, yes.
He made a vow that he wanted to become a solitary Buddha. You know what's the solitary Buddha?
Which Buddha?
Solitary Buddha. Yeah, particularly here.
Forest monk.
Right here.
Although, of course, Westerners just adore,
Yeah.
His Ajahn Chah. He was a Thai forest monk.
Yeah. That's all. That's what we want to.
Yeah.
We don't
His
solitary
teaching,
Buddha.
if you haven't read it, I highly recommend.
Yeah, but that's why most of them, either they want to attend arhatship, they want to become a solitary Buddha. That's all.
There's also great stories about like his wonderful sense of humor and things and other things like people would ask him how he was doing, and of course he very much didn't relate to his body, so he would like seems fine. So he didn't necessarily, or if he would see people doing a walking meditation that was too really, some traditions and really slow walking meditations. His tradition would go a little faster. He'd be like, I'm sorry, you're not feeling well. Try to speed them up.
I like the third store, Bodhisattva, because he's gonna stay until everybody else is.
That's a bit different. Yeah. A bit different between high tradition. We have the kind of path, Bodhisattva path. Every one of us can walk into that path, Bodhisattva path, from initial Bodhisattva up to the middle stage and up to the highest one. So that's why all of us in the Mahayana tradition that we aspire to be Buddha in the future, not to attain arhatship for ourselves. It's not enough. We have to help others. It's like let's say if somehow we find some kind of paradise somewhere else, right? And if we go there secretly, right, that's okay with us, right? We can enjoy it. But for us, in Mahayana Buddhist view, it's so selfish. We need to take around other people. We can invite other people to come along with us. That's what Mahayana is about. And sometimes it's slow. It slows you down. Like a college student, right? While they study math, the calculus, they may tutor their friends. It may slow them down. But
It's not a burden. It doesn't hold them back at all.
They can hold you back, but you help them, and you help them, and you help yourself too.
Well, yeah, that's basic dana or generosity.
That's the whole
Teaching,
idea.
yeah.
That's the whole idea that when you find something interesting, when you find something so valuable, you need to share with others. When you share, this means you accumulate merits.
I can't remember which teacher I learned it. But I did also hear that you're not, if it doesn't kind of hurt to give it away, like if it doesn't like, it's not generosity. If it doesn't kind of hurt to part with it a little, that's, if it's just something you don't mind giving away, that's not generosity. The real generous spirit is to, you know, give something that really means, yeah.
So in Buddhism, when we talk about Theravada and Mahayanas, we consider as a metaphor of drawing a small car to compare with a big van. You understand that? So I remember that many years ago, probably more than a decade ago, I went to France, and people asked me about what's meant by Theravada and Mahayana. I point out to the street, the car in Europe so small. To compare with American.
Well, the word used to be that they used to use was Hinayana, which
But they don't
meant,
use
which means
small vehicle.
the small vehicle.
They don't like it.
They don't, it's
Don't like
offensive.
it.
They
So
don't like
it's
that.
better to use Theravada.
Yeah.
So that's why.
They can even get a little sensitive about that one too.
Yeah. You got the point out, right? Yeah, that's why. Instead of driving only 1, 2, up to 4, we have the whole van.
Yeah.
to drive people. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's see here.
Okay.
Likewise.
Likewise, O king, this earth could no more bear a second Tathagata than a man could bear a second meal. Also, if there were 2 Buddhas, disputes would arise between their disciples, and moreover, the statement that says the Buddha is supreme and has no equal would become false.
It's easy now, right? It's clear now. So why they have the 2 Buddha and they made this view? Why is that?
Well, I mean, then nobody could really say I'm supreme if there was one. Yeah. Well, also that would be a dualistic idea. And really
Yeah.
a real Buddha wouldn't even see that as
Yeah, that would be the same
that.
person.
That's the same. That's just a different expression with the same person.
So their followers would perhaps disagree, but they would, the 2 Buddhas, like, I guess that's not a reason.
It would be the same.
time.
It would be the same.
Yeah, it's like some of the like subatomic particles. You know, you can't have more than one. I don't remember what shit, but like, you know, like if it's there, you can't put another one there. Because they're the same.
It is the same. Yeah. Okay.
Well, has this dilemma been explained? Even an unintelligent man will be satisfied. How much more a wise man? Well said, Nagasena. I accept it, as you say.
Go ahead.
Gifts to the order. When the Mahapajapati Gautami offered a bathing robe to the Buddha, he told her, give it to the order, Gautami. If you give it to the order, I will be honored, and the order too. Was it because the order is more important than the Buddha? O king, it was not because an offering to him would not bear great fruit, but in order to show the greatness of the order, so that in times to come the order might be esteemed. As sir, a father praised his son, in the royal court thinking, if he is established here now, he will be honored by the people after I'm gone. Or suppose, O king, some man should bring a present to the king, and the king presented the gift to someone else, to a soldier or a messenger, would that man therefore become superior to the king? Certainly not, honorable sir. That man receives his wages from the king, and it was the king who placed him in that position.
Understand? What's about?
I guess the Buddha would prefer what the Buddha offered the robe
No,
to
no,
Gautama.
no. Gautami, that's mean the
Gautami.
Buddha arms.
Oh, okay.
Buddha arms.
And they were just pointing out that it doesn't mean that she was higher or deserved the
No.
robe more than Buddha.
No, the orders mean the order of Buddhist monks.
Oh, okay.
That's
And,
mean
and
order,
it
the
wasn't.
whole monastic communities. So Mahapajapani Gautami is the Buddha aunt. So she offered the bathing to the Buddha. The Buddha said, no, you offer to the monastic orders, all the monks there. You offer to them is the same as you offer to me. So the king is asked, the Buddha has less merit than the order, monastic order. You understand that? So, but I say no, because the Buddha refer the Buddha end to give the robe to the monastic order. So that means he didn't want to accept that. He just asked her to give to the monastic communities selflessly. You understand that? So that's what this is about. You follow, right? You follow? Yeah. So so that's why he said that like the king, right? The king, if someone gives something else to the king say, "Oh, give to my prince, give to my people." It doesn't mean that the king doesn't have any power toward the prince or the other minister, but through the king order. You follow? And that's one. The next one can do this. Yes, so.
Just so, okay, the order did not become superior to the Tathagata merely by the fact of the gift. There is not, O king, any being more worthy of gifts than the Tathagata. For this was said by the Blessed One himself. There is one being, monks, who is born into this world for the good and benefit of many, out of compassion for the world, for advantage and benefit of God and men. Who is that being? The Tathagata, an Arahant, Buddha, Supreme.
You follow now. So in this one here, he still calls himself Ara, but not an M. He has 10 more titles: the Tathagata, First Come One, the Blessed One, Supreme One, and so forth. Yeah, that's in Buddhist view here. Yeah. So in Buddhist tradition, one thing I want to mention is that when someone like you, right, you want to become Buddhist, so you take, remember, once we take in 3 refuges, what's it mean?
You take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So the Buddha, his teachings, and the Buddhist community.
The Buddhist community, most of the time, in the conservative way, that's mean Buddhist monks are now. In the West, people say, "Oh, all Buddhists become a Sangha," but it is not mean in the conservative way. It doesn't mean much, because when you are Buddhist, doesn't mean that you put more effort into that. You may be busy with your life. That's what it's about. Of course, in the liberal way, yes, all Buddhists sit down and practice together as can be considered as a sangha, but in more meaningful way. That's what it's about. At least 4 months.
But yeah, because someone has to have received the trauma damage.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. But here, is especially in the West, in America, some lay people they can pass with the 3-year period too. You heard about that, right?
Mhm.
You know that.
Yeah.
And
I've
in
heard plenty of criticism. about it
yeah,
too.
in high and the even in high
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not acceptable
Yeah,
because you may not be qualified. Even you can teach, but you have
Right.
to be transmitted by a lineage.
right.
One reason I like being here in Louisville a lot more than in Lexington is because there were a couple of temples I went to in Lexington sometimes, but they were all led by lay people. There was no monk. So I don't think I was taught as well when I lived in Lexington here.
It comes to dedicate your life for the practice and the teaching. Yeah. So again, depend upon how we go view. Um, so in the East, it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare to have some lay people to come out and teach. It has some special cases, but it's pretty rare because there's a lot of Buddhist monks and many there. But here, yeah, in opposite way, it's pretty rare to become Buddhist monk, right? It's not easy to dedicate your life for spiritual life. Yeah, completely, wholeheartedly. That's why. Mm. We take a lot of
rules.
dedication.
So there's a lot of rules.
Yeah, a lot of dedication
Yeah.
to it. Yeah. Instead of go out with your family, right? In Thanksgiving, Christmas holiday, New Year, so we stay at the temple to do a practice or to help others, to teach others. And that's what it's about. All right, so
The Blessed One said, I would praise either a layman or a monk who has practiced rightly and right. If a layman who joined the pleasures of listening, dwelling with wife and children, and using sense and accepting gold and silver, in its own our hardship, what is the advantage of being a monk? To do one alms, fulfilling 150 precepts, and adopting the 13 ascetic practice. Your
I studied.
austerity
Mhm.
is without effect. Your renunciation is useless. Your observance is the precepts of the precepts is fair. Your taking of the vows is fair. What is the use of hardship for yourself if bliss can be reached in comfort?
Mm. I see you can continue this.
It is true what you say that the one who is practicing rightly is best, whether he is a monk or a lay. If a recluse thinking, I am a recluse, does not practice rightly, then he is far from reclusives.
Yeah.
How much more than a household of layman's clothes? Nevertheless, the benefit of being a recluse is too great to measure. Being of desires, he is easily contented. He is aloof from society, strenuous, homeless, he fulfills the precepts. He is austere and skilled in the practice of shaking off the lightfulness. That is why he can quickly accomplish any task that he undertakes. Just okay, as in a javelin, because it is smooth and straight and quickly reaches target.
Mm. You got the point? Mm.
Yeah, they're asking why give up everything if you
Mm.
get reach the same alignment without giving up anything.
Mhm.
But those who renounce and lose. You kind of bypass the distraction. Of not just daily life, but also of others, of children, of the time and
Mm.
selflessness it takes for children and family life, cooking, cleaning, work, money.
Mm.
It may not be considered, may not be definite where you work.
Does anybody have or read or seen any documentaries on the Tibetan monk? Young
Yeah.
bigger. Yeah. He, so of course, you know, as a Rinpoche, he was carefully groomed as a kid and had, his dad was a very, very famous meditation, Tibetan meditation. He had lived a pretty cushy life. And, you know, those Tibetans have access to a lot of things. Anyways, but he snuck out of the middle of his, and he's usually followed by security, if I'm not mistaken. He snuck out of the temple in the middle of the night and just no money, no nothing, just left and went on a 7-year walking walking retreat. So that way, because normally, it's funny when you hear him talk about it, he says, normally everybody greets me, hello, hello, hello. But of course, there, you know, no, he has these great stories of like, you know, these awful training conditions and almost being poisoned and killed with some bad food and
Would be like in Nepal or India.
yeah. But it's really interesting that, and of course, he did a temporary amount of time, and I'm sure one phone call and he could have been rescued, but he didn't. So it's really, but it's interesting to also hear like the value of renunciation in the Buddhist path. Like, yeah, not necessarily adhering, doing it out of the spirit of generosity. So it just, he wasn't quite a recluse, but still it's giving up all your stuff to try to see how level you can keep your mind no matter what. So.
It's not easy.
No.
Not easy, you're right. It's not easy to give up things that we have. Cell phone, car, even of course we know that they are necessary for us to live.
Yeah.
But somehow we have a type of tendency to attach them.
Yeah.
Not easy to do.
So yeah, we just knowingly walked away from it.
I didn't know his whole backstory, but I watched him speak.
Yeah.
He's a very good.
Oh yeah,
speaker.
he's a great speaker.
So remember the story of a Western nun in the Tibetan tradition, Tena.
Palmo.
She say in the cave
In
for
the
12
cave,
years.
cave in anybody know Palmo? It's a nun, she was a British nun
Mhm.
and went and stayed in the cave in the Himalayas.
12 years.
Literally till they dragged her out. They were like, I think she had like, I don't know, 3 days to get out of the country or like very serious trouble. But yeah, she's very inspiring. For sure. Especially as for Westerners wanting direct access, you know, it is kind of nice to have a Western teacher just because you're not filtering a lot of stuff. Just cultural.
There's some Western pieces I don't really like.
Yeah.
Of course, I respect all monastics, but there's like an Australian monk. I don't like these pieces, but I don't follow. But
Well, she's very respectable, and I mean, and as far as like being a female, she did a lot, made a lot of opportunities for nuns to get educated, Tibetan nuns and stuff like that. So she's led a very exemplary life and had a lot of.
I know the Western and it goes on.
Yeah, yeah, but,
Pretty cool.
yeah, she's wonderful, but that's, her lineage is very controversial.
I don't know much about that. There's a black man, African American, who represented it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I went to India 1998, 1999. I lived in Dharamsala, you know Dharamsala,
Mhm.
where the Dalai Lama headquarters is. So it's on the foot of Himalaya mountain. There's a lot of caves that depend people, depend practitioner
Mhm.
in all directions. They live really in the cave with the basic need. Even in the winter, yeah, they chop up the wood, they pick up the branches, they eat themselves in the cave, or they make the clay cave too. I went there. For them, that's a so simple life. So
Yeah,
that they can,
I've watched videos of all kinds of, not only some the Buddhist recluse, but also just a lot of the Hindu, like jungle babas and cave babas that. Yep, you want to talk about?
Well, even in the West, even in the Christian tradition, obviously I'm not a Christian, but I do respect like the Saint Francis and his order, where they Saint Francis gave up all of his possessions and wore like simple brown robes and lived on the street. And his order that he started, it still kind of does that. They modernized it a bit, but that's the idea behind the Franciscans. They're like recluses and
I went to one big monastery, one Catholic monastery in Minnesota. And they have the high school, the college, but they have the different section for the monks. And I stayed there for 3 days. I do not believe this. They pray, I think at least 5-6 times
Oh,
per
the
day.
Tibetans?
No,
Oh.
the Catholic
Oh, the
monastery
Catholic, oh,
in which city I forgot, in Minnesota, in the big city there. Anyway, so this is huge.
yeah.
And they did all kind of ceremony, all kind of prayer, at least 5-6 times per day. I'd be exhausted. I couldn't do. As I write a report to do meditation, to do all kind of elaborate prayer. They use a piano, they sing a song, they all kind of pray, all kind of joy. So, yeah, that's their dedication there. Yeah.
I had met 2 Tibetan monks that had been on retreat for 7 years there in Minnesota.
Mhm.
And so for 7 years, they've only, the young monk had been silent the whole time. And then, so yeah, those are they only saw each other, and like I said, the younger monk was with his teacher, but the young, not one word for the 7 years.
Yeah,
So it was
that's a
cool to
lot.
talk to him.
Yeah, there are a lot of dedication. Dedication for you
It
to
was.
stay to live along, to do spiritual practice. Yeah.
But
Okay.
you get around people that did. For me, I don't know. You get around people that have been, I feel like, that dedicated and have done that kind of that level of practice. There is I feel like there is something very different about, like there's a remarkable difference between people that
Yeah.
have that kind of dedication versus.
Okay. Good. All right. So time up. We stop here today. Then. So yeah.